everybody. Welcome to Sunday Afternoon DOOGER. It looks like everybody's done with ads. So even though Twitch is still saying that we're still running ads, I think it's lying because I hit that button like 13 minutes ago. I'm going to go by top of the hour. Except it wasn't top of the hour, was it? Because I started like 3 minutes late. 10 minutes ago? And I know you didn't get 10 minutes of ads. Okay, so it's whatever. It's, you know. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Super good, I hope. Let me scooch you a bit closer to me. There we go. Now I can see you better. The wind is so loud today. I'm eating discount Easter candy. Nice. We occasionally on date night, Sam and I will have sushi. There's a place that we have to like drive to. I know how pedestrian that we have to drive to get our food. But none of the sushi places that are within driving distance of us have been very good. So we sort of like stopped doing that for a while. And then somebody in the family was like, there's a new sushi place. Did you guys know? And I was like, what? So we tried it last night. And one of the issues that we've had with the other places that are around is that the rolls they always seem like, it feels like a lot of money for how much sushi we're getting, right? So I was like, you know what? It's a new place. I'm going to go balls out. I'm just going to get a bunch because if it's good, but they're small, we're going to need more than I'm thinking. And if I'm pleasantly surprised, then we have a surplus of sushi and like, it's fine. Right. This place, it was so much food. I was so delighted. Everything tasted good. The rolls were gigantic. I was so happy. So next time I can plan better. Put the balls back in, you know, and plan a bit better about how much money I want to spend on sushi. But it was good. Yeah, it was good sushi. I was delighted. Clark picked the avocado off of one of our rolls and ate it. I was like, dude, don't do that to all of them. It's part of the experience, dude. Every time we get sushi, I get her an avocado roll because I know that I'll also eat that, so whatever. I get her an avocado roll. We get edamame, and then we just get all of our normal stuff. Seaweed salad, you know, a few other rolls, a couple hot rolls, a couple cold rolls. And then just sort of lay them out and let her kind of investigate. So this time she was like, what's in that? She was asking what was in all of them. And I was so excited because this is definitely progress, right? She was asking what was in all of them. I was like, this one has crab in it. She was like, I want to see what crab is like. Pulled the crab out of this one roll, which was fine. Pulled the crab out, licked it, and goes, it's spicy. I was like, what? I took it from her, licked it, and was like, that's not spicy, dude. And she was like, it's spicy. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you. You want to know why? Because when you have a picky eater, them voluntarily showing interest in something and licking something is like so exciting. Like, oh my God. We had curry the other night. And she smelled Sam's korma and was like, that smells really good. Fantastic. I think, don't tell him this, but I think Sam fucked it up because he got too excited and was like, you want to try it? And took a big spoon and was like, you want to try it? Go ahead and try it. And she was like, no! I was like, gotta play it cool, dude. We gotta play it cool. Is she possibly allergic? I would be shocked if I don't know. So my mouth gets spicy when I eat banana. It does not happen literally instantly. That is something to keep in mind, though. Absolutely. She might be sensitive shellfish because she never eats it. So I will absolutely keep that in mind. But it was literally like, it's spicy. like instant. And beyond that, never mentioned it again. So I heard Clark watched Junior MasterChef and dissed Sam's waffles. We got those like pre-made because they were super cheap at Aldi. So I was like, fuck it. We got those like pre-made waffles that you just throw in the toaster. I was like, yes, not Eggos. They're a different, they're a different thing. They're like these weird little sweet waffles that you can throw in the toaster, but they have to go in the toaster for like 10 to 20 seconds. And if they go in longer than that, they're crunchy, right? So I had made a couple of them for Clark and I. And she was like, ooh, these are really sweet. I was like, they are really sweet. And she was like, they need something though. They're, it feels like there's no moisture. I was like, oh my, you're correct. I think that's true too. So Sam, I guess, put them in the toaster for too long. And she was like, these are so dry. No, not Stroop waffles. With fish, it starts tingling pretty fast, but not instant with me. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah. I've had to just accept, at this point, I have to just accept that, like, my kid will eat a lot of things, but they're things that were, like, normalized when she was really little. And at this point now, she'll overthink absolutely every new potential food. We were talking about it. I was talking about it with her when we weren't eating, so that there wasn't like a weird pressure issue. But I was talking about it with her and equating it to reading, because she can read now, right? And everywhere we go, she reads everything. And I was like, isn't it so cool? You can read so much now. It's like the world is opened up to you. You know what everything is. You can read everything. It's amazing, right? Like that's such a huge jump in like experiencing the world, right? And I was like, I think there's gonna be a point where you're like, I'm so bored of the things that I eat. And she was like, I am bored of the things that I eat. And I was like, so I said, as your palate develops and as you get brave with new foods and stuff, the food world is going to open up to you, right? Like when we're out walking around, more things are going to be like, ooh, that looks good. That looks tasty. I have kind of an idea of what that's going to taste like, I was like, I think probably slowly over time that the food world is also going to expand for you. And if it doesn't, if it turns out that actually these are the only foods that you're ever going to be happy with for your whole life, we can also work around that. And you know what? You can learn to make absolutely everything that you like to eat. And as long as you're fed and healthy, it's whatever, dude. But like, if you want to enjoy more things, we can work toward that, but I can't do that for you, sort of a thing, basically. Like that has to be, you're the one who has to start taking those steps. So. But yeah. She ate a sweet waffle and said it was dry. That is true. She ate a sweet waffle and said it was dry, but she also showed interest and licked crab for the first time and said korma smelled good. So, you know. Yeah, I've talked about this a few times, but like for us, it's like we'll always make sure that there are one or two things at dinner that are safe foods, right? That are things that she likes. I'm totally down to like if we're making pasta, right? And it's a type of pasta that she's never had before. I'm super down to keep like a little bit of the plain pasta off to the side and do like, here's the pasta and here's the sauce. You mix them if you want, you know, like I'm down to like not put things together, let her try to put things together, whatever. That's not really extra work for me at the end of the day. We have had a conversation recently that was like, I'm not making you a whole different meal, right? That's not happening. But I would like a little bit of acknowledgement for the fact that I do make the effort as the person who primarily makes the dinners and likes doing it. I do make the effort to make sure something here is a thing you like, you know? So yeah, we don't have a necessarily like eat this or go hungry thing. It's more like there are things in the house that you can eat whenever you want. You can have fruit whenever you want. You can have nuts whenever you want. There are a couple like little snacky things that I'm like, that's fine. I don't give a shit. You know, chopped up veggies, whatever. Like you can have those literally whenever you want. I'll make sure that with dinner, there's one or two things that you generally like to eat. And then everything else is new. And no, it's not going to leave your plate. And no, we're not, you know, I'm not going to swap it out with something else. Here's the new thing. And here's the stuff that's fine. So. Oh, thank you. Yes, we are constantly running out of porridge. We have, like, weekly, we have to buy more porridge. That's also because I've started mixing a little bit of oats into what the chickens eat occasionally. But, oh my God. Yeah. Oatmeal, like porridge oats, are a staple in our house. And I'm so glad. If you can get your kid onto something that's like high protein and easy to adjust, get them on porridge, dude. Get them on oatmeal. My kid has loved oatmeal forever. And from really early on, we would put chia, flax, like all kinds of things in it. And that's how she always eats it. That's like normal for her, right? And it ensures, because my kid does not like eating meat, which is another thing that I have told her is totally fine and she doesn't have to. But it ensures that there is something high protein that she is constantly asking for. I'm gonna go buy some porridge just for me. Do it. Delicious. I thought there weren't chickens anymore. Are there new chickens? Yeah. So our a while back, our chickens got eaten, not by us, by a fox. And then beginning of the year, my Christmas present from my mother-in-law, who volunteers with like ex-battery hens. She went to like the head of the group that she volunteers with and was like, hi, next time there's a shipment of hens, can we have like Basically, she asked if we could have the 4 most fucked up ones. And the lady was like, absolutely, you can. So we were expecting like bare ass chickens, like chickens that had no feathers, that were, you know, needing some kind of medication and care. But really, they were all missing a bunch of feathers, but health-wise, they're perfectly fine. They're all laying a bunch of eggs. They're so sweet. They're all super chill with being picked up. They let me hand feed them. They're great. They spent a little time outside yesterday for the first, like, not outside. Sorry, I shouldn't make it sound like I keep them trapped in a coop. They have a big chicken run, right? But we let them out of the run to just like hang out with us while we were doing arts and crafts yesterday. So that was fun. They were very happy. They did beeline for my mother-in-law's house, which stressed me out so bad. I was expecting them to be very like, okay, yes, this is great, but we're still going to stick near our coop, right? But they didn't. They did not do that. They immediately ran across our yard, ran into my mother-in-law's yard, where I should specify she has been freshly like planting and landscaping their backyard. So immediately the chickens were digging up fresh soil and shit. And I was like, no! So eventually, after I did this a few times, they got the hint, but I just started like picking them up and putting them back over next to us over and over again. And eventually they were like, okay, fine. I guess we can't go over there. That's fine. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is I was like, okay, we need to go inside now. So I'm going to one by one put the chickens back in the coop. And again, fortunately, they're not like our blast chickens at all. They are super down to get picked up. I picked up one and put her in the coop, and the other 3 immediately ran for the coop. And I was like, oh, it was almost like there was a weird separation anxiety with them. Like, where are you taking her? So they all just ran over to the coop immediately. And I was like, okay. We bought it. Yeah, we bought a little farm out here. So I know. So yeah, very happy with that. Yeah, we've got 4 little chickens. They tried to give us 7. I kind of wish I had taken 7 now, but but it's fine. We have the 4, and they're very sweet, and they are all together again. One of them we had separated because all of the chickens kept picking on her. But her tail has grown back in, nice and full and beautiful. It doesn't seem like she's getting pecked at all, so very happy about that. I want to get better about putting some things out there to keep them occupied as well. Potentially when they peck each other and peck themselves, it's boredom. So I want to like hang some apples and things in there occasionally. Just give them like an activity, you know? Are any of the 3 OG chickens around? No, no. One of them we think poisoned herself. I don't know how else to put it. That makes it sound like she did it on purpose, but we think that she ate something when they were just like grazing, because we let them just free graze. And from what I could tell, there was nothing out there that was bad for them. It was just grass, right? But we think there must have been something out there that she shouldn't have been eating. And so one morning she was just dead in there. And then the other 2 got eaten by a fox, which was very sad. But yeah, so we've got the chickens. We've moved the fence. We made everybody go outside on Easter and help us move the fence, which was awesome. It was so funny. It was perfect. You know, when we had everybody over for Thanksgiving, and I was like, and on Thanksgiving, I'm going to make these boys take my bookshelf upstairs, and it didn't happen. This was the equivalent of that, except with my mother-in-law there as the matriarch to be like, all right, great. And now that you've all eaten, we need you to come outside and help us move a gigantic fence. And it was such a job. It was such a chore. But they did it. And it was amazing. And I was like, that's the energy I need next time. I have no idea. what breed the chickens are. They are ex-warehouse hens, so they were egg layers for some company. I don't know. They're all orange, if that helps. They're all orange. They're not like particularly fluffy. They're chicken shaped, you know. Yeah, so it's me and Sam and Clarky, and then my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, also live on the property with their dogs and things. And then in a mobile living situation, so not like a permanent house, is my sister-in-law. And then the rest of the family visits all the time. I'm trying so hard. Guys, there are so many dandelions right now. And I'm like, it's my time. I love making shit out of dandelions. This is my, oh my God. Spring has sprung. It's my time of year, right? So I have individually reached out to a couple of other parents in the family to be like, hi, can I borrow your child to pick some dandelions for me? And so far nothing has worked out. And now I think I really just need to be like, just go into the fam chat. Be like, hello everyone. I need your children. I need all of your children to come pick dandelions for me for just like an hour, please. Just drop them off. They won't die. I'm gonna plop them all in the exact same area. We'll pick a nice sunny day. I'm gonna plop them all in the same area and say, pick dandelions, please. There's so many. This isn't a situation where it's like, Dodger, no. Then there won't be enough, then they won't be able to, so many things rely on the dandelion. Don't worry. Our property is literally covered in them. It's amazing. It's so great. But I'm also at war with my father-in-law, who is addicted to mowing the lawn. And I was like, can we please wait? Just wait. Just wait. Please don't mow the lawn yet. Please don't mow. I need the dandelions. I make so many things this time of year. Please just don't mow. And he was like, well, it's in the shop. So the implication of that being, when it's out of the shop, I will mow. So don't mow. So, right? I need them. The bees need them. Just put the mower away for a while. It's fine. So I make like a beeswax and dandelion salve that my in-laws really love. It feels really nice on your hands, and my sister-in-law uses it as like a cuticle oil. I didn't expect that one to pop off so hard. They used that up so quickly, and I was like, damn. So I'm gonna try and make a shit ton of that this year. Dandelion honey is delicious. I've never tried to really do anything with the greens. I know you can make like salads and stuff with dandelion greens in. I never really do that though. So what I do love is dandelion fritters, where you just take the heads and mix them with like flour and salt and then fry them up. God, that was so good. I loved that. I ate so many of those last year. They were great. I tried to do them gluten-free for my father-in-law, and they were not good, which was very sad. I don't know why there was such a difference using gluten-free flour, but there really was. He clearly hasn't heard of No Mo till May. Right? Yeah. I was like, here's my thought, right? I think I should plant some bulbs, like crocus and things. And that way it's like, you cannot mow. It's illegal. You're not allowed. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Dandelions they're really good for you. And you can use them in so many different ways. You can eat them. Absolutely. A lot of people use the roots to make tea. which I have never done. I would love to do that. Whenever I like look up people doing that, they always pull up a dandelion and the root system is just crazy. I have never pulled a dandelion out by the root and been like, yeah, that's enough to do something with. The roots are always like spindly little weird shits, you know, but. More of a stinging nettle fan. We've got plenty of that too. The dead nettles, the like purple ones, the tortoises love those, and those are everywhere right now. So the tortoises are living their best life. They love eating dandelions. So on the sunny days, they get to just kind of free roam, and they're just eating everything. They're so happy. Yeah, you would think dandelion fritters would not be good. That does not look like a thing that's yummy. I had to try it though, because when I say we're covered in dandelions, they are everywhere. So I was like, I need to figure out more things to do with these. Just why not use what we've got, right? So I tried making dandelion fritters and they were delicious. Absolutely delicious. Huge fan. I think the keys, and last time I said this, people were like, put enough butter in something and it'll be delicious. But like, I think the keys here are normal white flour was the best experience I had. Normal white flour with plenty of salt in there. Make sure that you rinse the dandelions really, really well. And fry in butter. 100%. Fry in butter. It's so good. Sometimes your lawn is just dandelions. It's true. Yeah, it's true. Well, last year when we had first moved here, right, everything was like beautifully mowed when we first got here. And then spring sprung, dandelions everywhere. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. We didn't have a mower yet. So we were like, it's whatever, you know. But we have this huge field, right? So keep that in mind. We have a gigantic field on our property. So we weren't stressing about it, obviously. It was like, sure, let the natural ecosystem of this area flourish, whatever. And then it felt like we blinked, and suddenly everything was as tall as me. Suddenly everything was gigantic. And when we finally did get a mower, we couldn't get through it. We literally, and we brought a guy out who had like an industrial mower, and he was like, I can't mow this. It's too tall. It's too dense. We were like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? The only option that we were given was like, make friends with a farmer and get a farmer to cut it for you. At the time, we weren't friends with any of the farmers out here. We are now, but basically we waited until everything kind of wilted over winter, and then when it wasn't wet all the time, and then we've been slowly, little by little, mowing small areas at a time, because again, it's still a lot of stuff, it's just not as tall anymore. Mowing small areas at a time to try and get the field under control, with the plan to continue to maintain it after that, now that we're able to, right? But I think that's one of the reasons that my father-in-law is like, we've got to make sure that we're mowing, because there's just so much property that if you leave one part of it alone for too long, it feels like it gets unruly, which I'm fine with in certain areas. I'm totally fine with just letting it go. You know, just sure. But right? Oh my God. There's an old grandma that I've watched a few videos of with her big scythe, and I'm like, I could do that. If this old grandma can do that, I could do that. I need a John Deere. Don't everybody? I do love goats. I do love goats. We haven't had any problems with ticks, thank God. Not so far. We are... Never mind. I was gonna say we are really close to blank, and then I was like, that's too much information about where I live. That's too much information about where I live. So actually, never mind. But so far, we haven't had to worry about any pests that we were like concerned about. We're close to stuff. We sure are. There definitely is stuff around. Tell you what. This is a heel turn, sorry, but on Disney Plus, because Disney Plus has like all of the National Geographic stuff. Those of you who know the movie A Bug's Life, on National Geographic, there's like a short series called A Real Bug's Life that is narrated by Aquafina. That is about like little bugs and how they survive in like different areas. So the first one is like downtown New York City. And then the second one is like the jungle. The third one is a typical Texan backyard, right? Like it's like lots of different places, and like what type of bugs you might expect to find there, and what sorts of things they might be like worried about, or what their life is like, the bug's life, if you will. And so I had put that on as like background noise because Clarky has not been at 100%. She had like a really bad fever a couple days ago, and ever since then she's not sick anymore, but her energy levels are like, boo. So it's been a lot of just like chilling on the couch, playing games. She played the demo of the Princess Peach game and loves it. I will say, I don't think that game is tailored very well to like a kid at Clark's age. For any of you who are hearing that and are like, oh, I have a 6-year-old, maybe they'd like get the demo, because all kids are different, but like the mini games in Princess Peach, in the demo at least, my kid was having some trouble with, but still really enjoys it. So, you know. But anyway, so it's been a lot of Zelda. It's been Princess Peach. She walked around in Animal Crossing for a really long time. She built an entire house in Minecraft, right? Like it's been a gamer weekend. It's been a gamer weekend, big time. And I kept being like, do you want to like go outside? Do you want to, do like some crafts? She's like, no. Which is very unlike my child. So I'm like, okay. She really is just like, I am resting. Okay? I am trying to recharge right now. So that's fine. That's fine. Whatever she needs. But while she was playing Minecraft, I put A Real Bug's Life on in the background and just muted the TV. And for those of you who don't know, my kid loves bugs. It did not take long for her to go, what is this? What's going on? What's happening? Is that a spider? Is the spider about to get eaten? Is the spider okay? I was like, I don't know, dude. And she was like, can you start this over? I want to watch it from the beginning. Wound up just Minecraft to the side, watching A Real Bug's Life. And it's very cute. I don't know what I was expecting from a kid-focused bug documentary narrated by Aquafina, but it's very cute if you also have a child that loves bugs. And then my kid was like, why does it say A Real Bug's Life? Because the way that they have it written out, it's like A Bug's Life, but then an arrow, and then the word real, right? Because it's a play off of the original movie, right? And I was like, well, there's like a CGI movie about like cartoon bugs. So it's like the real life version of that is the idea. And she was like, can I watch A Bug's Life? And I was like, sure. So we put it on, and this is not the direction you thought this was going to go in, but you're welcome. We're watching that, and I immediately go to text Summer because I was like, how, in all this time that I've been on the internet and for how long this hear me out trend has been going on, how have I not seen a single person say Hopper? Say Hopper, the lead grasshopper from A Bug's Life on their hear me out list. That honestly shocks me. Then Summer was like, you okay, bud? But seriously, it feels like he ticks a lot of those hear me out like boxes. Don't put that in the world. I get it, but oh no. I'm just shocked I haven't seen it. You're telling me somebody said a hear me out about the vacuum from Brave Little Toaster, but I haven't seen Hopper from A Bug's Life? Be the change you want to see. He's not on my hear me out list. He's not on my hear me out list. But he's on someone's, and they need to start admitting it, you know? Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Then who is? I will take that to my grave. Thank you. But that is immediately what Summer also asked. Summer was like, bestie to bestie, who's your weirdest hear me out? And I was like, I need a minute. To be honest, I'm not sure. It feels like these lists, because people keep being like, I don't want to see humans on these lists, okay? No humans allowed on these lists, all right? And I feel like it's one of those situations where it isn't until you're looking at it that you go, oh, yeah, that. Right, yes, that. Of course. Yeah, ew, humans, stinky. A fish person is probably on the list. Yeah, probably. I feel like mine aren't even that crazy. The Lion King 2 is made for furries. Of course, Kovu is hot. Kovu, I think, is on a lot of people's lists. Yeah. I see Kovu come up all the time. Gil from Nemo. A few people have said Gil. Just in this chat alone. So... What is a hear me out list? A hear me out list is meant to be the meme. So in case you run into it and now you'll be like, I know what that is. Thank God for Dodger. A hear me out is, this is a person that or a thing, literally could be an object. This is something, someone, whatever. That I, for some inexplicable reason, can fully imagine myself smooching. And it might require a minute of explanation on my part. Hear me out, right? Okay, I would totally kiss the vacuum from Brave Little Toaster. Hear me out. It's that. Again, I would like to specify the vacuum from Brave Little Toaster is not on my hear me out list. I'm saying kiss because it is the only way to explain this in a PG way. So, depending on where you are on the asexual or very sexual gradient, fill in the blank, right? Are you attracted to that thing? But that's why people are saying, I don't want to see humans on this list. Because for a lot of them, it's like, hear me out. And then they put like a perfectly attractive celebrity on there. So people are like, okay, no humans anymore. Okay, y'all can't be trusted. I don't need to hear me out about a normal looking human. The furnace boss from Lies of P. That is certainly a hear me out, yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there you go. Internet memes with Dodger, you're welcome. And I hope, what is the term for like when you hear a word and you're like, I've never heard that word in my life, and then suddenly you hear it everywhere? I can't remember the term for that. Maybe it'll be like that. And now that you know what a hear me out is, you'll open your phone and immediately see a hear me out. Meinhof syndrome, that's what it is. How many Sonic the Hedgehog characters are on your list, dude? But see, to me, even like, if I were to be like, hear me out, Knuckles, I don't feel like that's that weird. That's another one that I don't think needs a hear me out. But maybe I've just been on the internet for too long. The weird goop in Fern Gully has to be somebody's. Someone has literally said the weird goop in Fern Gully. But you know, it's the weird goop in Fern Gully with Tim Curry charisma coming out of it, you know? It's sort of unfair. How about hear me out, Robotnik? I don't know. He's a Hume. He's Stinky Hume. Yeah, it's like, what energy does this thing have? I think that's typically sort of what it is. Somebody said that it's adjacent. It feels adjacent to like the Tumblr sexy man thing. And I think that that's true. It's like, this isn't something that would go on a like top 10 most attractive anything, right? But there's just something about it that for some reason a bunch of people find it attractive or alluring or charismatic in some way, and it's hard to explain. He's an egg with a mustache. Handsome Squidward. Handsome Squidward is so good. Anyway, there you go. I'm thinking about other ones that, like, I'm sure people have done hear me outs for, but still feel really tame. Like Ganon. Then there would be a whole thing that's like, but which version of Ganon? Because some versions of Ganon are more concerning than others, you know? Blue pig Ganon. This is what I'm talking about, right? It's like there's been so many iterations of that thing. What are we talking about here? Are we talking about the Ganon that literally everybody was drawing as a hot, like, such and such, literally last year? Try again. I don't need to hear me out for that. I have a bone to pick with instant ramen companies. Why do they put the fill line on the outside? The like cup noodle? Isn't there always a crease on the inside? Maybe we have different cup noodle companies. Rehydrated Ganondorf. Mm-hmm. Scrooge McDuck from the reboot. I love these so much. You guys are so brave. Is Venom a hear me out? I don't think so. I don't think so. Venom is another one that's like, I don't need the hear me out on Venom. Raisin. Can I tell you? Do any of you guys remember the rock and roll raisins? I'm imagining Ganondorf as a rock and roll raisin. So, yeah, the California raisins, the rock and roll raisin. I'm imagining, like, why not that crossover, you know? Someone thought I was about to be like, here's my hear me out, the rock and roll raisin. Yeah, I had a birthday cake. I had a birthday cake with them on it. It is, for some reason, a core memory for me. Is having a birthday cake really early on when I was really, really little that had the raisins on it. Oh, goodness. Let me read this to you. This is in our Sunforged chat, okay? OLG, if you're still here. I just read this. Thank you for that. OLG said, I've spent the morning so far trying to fix the audio on my PC. I have Dodger's stream open to keep testing it. The audio finally kicks in for a hear me out conversation, and I wish it had stayed broken. Oh my God. Hi, OLG. I love you. I appreciate you very much. I was already stressed out and now the horror. I appreciate the honesty. You need friends in your life that are going to be like, I hated that. I really hated that. I don't think we have Sunforged today. I think Joe's gonna do a recap. Fingies crossed. I think Joe's doing a recap today. I need my Sunforged fix. I mean, me too. Lately, I think a lot of us would agree. Lately, every time Sunforged ends, I'm like, we could go a couple more hours though, right? The story's just been so good. Joe's such a good DM. It's been so fun. But you know, it ends at like 1 a.m. for me sometimes. So I can't really be like, I can stick around. I could either do longer sessions or 2 times a week, easy. Same. Yeah, it's so good. It's been great. What is this music? Let's see. Thunder Snails by Arcean and Game Chops. Oh, it just ended. And now it's Try Hard from Donkey Kong Country 2. One moment. Ow. What did Clark think of the movie? She was still watching it when I left to work, so I have no idea. She was glued though, so. Yeah, Terry's fam is doing okay. You know, Katie's still in the hospital. They're still just looking for little boosts, little wins. Yes. Yeah. It's they've come so far considering that that we started on life support, that we're now in rehabilitation. Oop, 1 second. Hello, I'm back. My husband was calling me from inside the house. Mm-hmm. Clark was invited to go do a thing with one of her cousins, so they're heading out now. It's hard when, even with yourself, right? When you've been sick and you know you're still low energy, but you want to like do something, even if it's by yourself, you want to like do something, but you're like, I know I'm not fully back to a hundo, but I have the opportunity, or I have the motivation to go and do a thing. So I'm going to go do it. When it's a kiddo, you feel like you have to like ahead of time be like, hey, if they seem like they just need to come home, just call us. Like it's totally fine, right? So I'm hoping that they just have a blast and it's fun. But I'm also mentally prepared for an hour from now to get a call that's like, not happy. We're not happy. We want to go home. Because that's fine. The Fabia picture? Yes. I commissioned this from Lamia forever ago. And they sent it to me, which was so sweet. I would love to have it framed. Yeah. So it's sitting there with all of my other preciouses. All my other treasures. That's the first art I saw from Lamia. Now we're friendos. I love that. That's so sweet. When are we having a picture rating stream? Oh my God. Picture rating? I saw Welcome Raiders at the same time. Thank you so much for the raid, Nordic. When are we having a picture hanging stream? That's such a great question. I kept thinking to myself, eventually a redacted will be here, and then I'll know where things can be hung, you know? What can you do? I have Summer follows through like the good bud. Hear me out, redacted. I'm just sick of bitching about it. So a redacted is supposed to go here, and then we can figure out everything else, okay? Summer has been frequent. Anytime there's like somebody who's like, I might be doing chibi VTuber models, I've been getting a message sent along like, hey, check this person out, right? I got sent a link to one that looked so good. And they were like, I'm only taking a couple. And I checked and I was like, I'm going to just go for it and see. Because it was one of those situations where it wasn't like first come, first serve. It was, here's my pitch. And if it sounds like a thing that you'd like to do, then great, right? And I got a slot and I'm so excited. And I think it's going to be done like beginning of June-ish, hopefully. So I got to make a goofy little picture and send it to them and be like, this. Because on their form, you could link to like one thing. And I have a Pinterest board that has a bunch of like my old Morel stuff on it and stuff for like whatever this new model is. So I sent the board along thinking that later on in the thing I could like explain myself. But there wasn't anything like that. So they accepted my commission just on vibes alone, which I really appreciate. And then I was like, all right, so I didn't get to actually say this to you. So if this is a deal breaker, it's a cat-eared mushroom person. And they were like, oh, do you think you could draw me a picture of that? I was like, I can, yeah. I will draw you a picture of that. So, yeah. To not know that before accepting the commission is very funny to me. But yeah, I appreciate that it still got the thumbs up, so. I spaced out. I thought this was about a tattoo. Norm. I just got really attached to like, I really enjoyed being moral. And when we needed to, not needed to, but when I was thinking about like, what would I want my model to be? I didn't necessarily want it to be like a moving version of the Dodger and the Kigu thing. So I was like, well, I love Moral and I love the design of Moral, but like if I could make it so that it was more like, looked more like me, that would be cool. So I have a few TTRPG characters like that even though the game is over, I miss them. Oh my God. The way that there are a couple of D&D characters that I have fixated on long after the game has been over. I'm like, I will never be this character again. But I talked about this a while ago. Since like occasionally I'm DMing things. One of my friends was like, yeah, any of those characters that I love, I just turn them into NPCs in my games when I DM. And I was like, that is so smart. That's so smart. So yeah. So that's not what I do. Yeah. Oh, here, you want to see a picture of Moral? Yeah. I'm in, gosh, I don't even know when this is going to come back, if it ever will, but I'm in a virtual reality LARP called Neon Divide that takes place inside of VR chat. So, this is the character. Hold on. This is my weird baby. Oh my God, I already have it. This is really funny. This is Moral. They have 4 arms. They're just like a grungy little mushroom kid. And I love them. And I want to be them again, but you know, it's been a while. It's been a while, so I don't know if I'll ever get to be them again. So. The Moral who had a gun and the coffee maker. Yeah. Yes. It's that same character. Yeah. It sounds extremely nerdy when you explain what it is. It's so fun though. Yeah, basically it's a once a week, and there are lots of groups that do this in VR chat. But it's once a week, and there are multiple maps, and for a 4-hour chunk once a week when the season is going, which it hasn't. We're not in a season currently, but when the season is going, there's a big group of DMs, and they use VR chat to sort of like float around and watch everything. And as a character, you have your home map and where you live. And then you just exist in that world for 4 hours once a week. And weird shit happens, and maybe you're there for it, and maybe you're not. Some people literally just they just like doing the shop RP, right? So I work at a shop, my character does, and I try to spend the first like at least half an hour to an hour of playtime just in the coffee shop. But for some people, they spend literally the entire time in their shop, doing their job, which is great. Yeah, and so my character is a mushroom person. There are a few of us, although I don't know how many are like discontinued at this point. I don't know how many mushroom people there are anymore, because we had a whole thing happen where a bunch of people dropped it. So yeah, and I live in the Undercity, which is like the magic hub. It's the sewer system. Remember when Discord banned Moral with a gun from the server and we had to color the gun orange and write Nerf on it? I did not remember that, no. Oop, 1 second. I have a voice message from my husband now. Be right back. Hello, I'm back. That's so true. At the very end of last season, I planted a ton of mushrooms to see if any of them would turn into people. If any of them would gain sentience, because Moral's trying to figure out like what causes some mushrooms to gain sentience and others not to. All of the storyline with all of the mushroom people was like, where do we come from? Why do mushrooms sometimes come to life, basically? Moral was grown in a test tube, but all of the other ones just grew naturally. And so Moral's very science-brained and was like, I'm gonna do an experiment, and planted them all over the place and tried to plant them specifically in areas that had dense magic. Outside of RP card down, if you will, DOOGER wanted to create a situation where if people wanted to come in as new mushroom people, they would have lots of options. I planted some in like the super spooky shadowy area. I planted some like literally in the Magic Guild. I planted them all over the place. So if somebody was like, I have an idea for a mushroom person, there would be a mushroom that I planted that could potentially turn into that. So. Is Moral on a hear me out list? That's between you and hear me out, Jesus, I guess. My other pitch was that all of these mushrooms that I planted, because I think every season there's been an infestation of some sort in the Undercity. I don't know why that always winds up being a storyline, but there's always an infestation of some kind of creature. And I was like, maybe Because all of the mushroom samples are based on Moral, and Moral canonically eats dead things. I was like, maybe all of these mushrooms would have grafted onto dead stuff, and so there would be like weird like zombie mushroom creatures all over the place, which I think would be very fun. Because then I, as Moral, could be like, don't hurt them, they're my children, you know. They're my babies. I think that would be fun, but Moral as a parent, yeah. Hee hee. Yeah, I miss Moral. I miss Moral. I miss Alice. I've talked about this a lot, but like I think the reason that I miss Alice so much is that he was a kid, that I made a kid character, and so I felt like even though the story had closure, I didn't feel like I had enough closure with Alice as a character, because he was still a kid at the end, and I was like, he has so much life to live, you know? Sorry, I'm getting so many text messages. One sec. Oop. Haven't been to a stream in so long. Hello, welcome. I hope you're doing good. We're just talking about D&D stuff, and you missed a whole hear me out conversation, which I think is probably for the best. I still have my Decompose the Rich shirt. I love that shirt. It's one of those shirts that like it feels like it goes missing randomly, you know? I'll be doing the laundry one day and be like, where's this shirt been? Nice. A question about the tea. We got the chai and we like it, but it's so fine it goes right through our strainer. Any suggestions? Oh no. I haven't run into that issue with my strainer. I guess an option would be to put cheesecloth inside of the strainer. But that's frustrating. I'm sorry. Is that Clark in the background? No, my kid's in the car somewhere. This song has a kid talking. Is it the creepy one? Nostalgic Tides, Chrono Cross. Is it creepy? My headphones are dead, so unfortunately. The creepy one with the water sounds was earlier. No! Normally we try to skip that one. Is Labyrinth a creepy movie? Some people try to say so. It depends on you, I guess. I don't think Labyrinth is particularly creepy. Is there stuff in it that's weird? Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. It's not creepy. It's perfect. I do love that movie. I never got into Dark Crystal. Dark Crystal and I were never homies, but oh my gosh. Yes, we played quite a bit of Cuisinier actually. It's very fun. We have a ladybird problem, a ladybug issue in our house. They showed up at a certain point, and everyone was like, "Yeah, they'll be in your house for like a week, and then they'll vanish." They never did. They never did. They're still in our house. It doesn't matter how often I open the windows, open the doors to let them escape. They don't. They just love our house. They just hang out in our house. And my kid really wants to make like bug hotels, which typically you would put outside, but she wants them in the house. And I'm like, then they'll never leave. Then they'll never leave. There was a certain point where if we turned on the faucet, ladybirds came out of the faucet. Like we don't need to encourage them. They already love our house. We don't need to give them a hotel. No, from what we can tell, if anything, they're doing good stuff in the house. They're kind of like spiders. Like they'll eat like tiny little insects. They sometimes can help deal with like moisture problems, so they stick around in the bathrooms a lot. From what Sam could tell, that's not a bad thing at all that they're in the house, but they are everywhere. They are just everywhere. And I'm like, guys, there's aphids outside. Like, go outside, dude. Yeah. My kid went to fill up her water bottle before bed, and 3 little ladybirds fell into her bottle. And she was like, there's ladybirds in the faucet. So... yeah, they're just everywhere. No, she was fine about it. She was like, She was more upset that the ladybirds were in the water. So she had taken a while. And I was like, what's taking so long to just fill up the water bottle? And she was like, I have to save the ladybirds because they were just like dying in the water, which my kid could not abide. So, yeah. And then we had one of those gigantic house spiders in our bathtub. And so for a while, Clark just refused to take a bath because this huge spider was in there. And we're very like, just let the spiders live in our house generally. So I kept waiting for him to leave, and he just didn't. He just hung out in the tub. And I was like, you gotta go, dude. I'm evicting you. You have to leave. And then a thing that I hadn't thought about was the fact that potentially the entire tub had become like his house, right? So I grabbed him lovingly and I put him somewhere else. And then when I went to clean out the bathtub, it was full of spider webs. I was so annoyed. Like, come on, man. The pool is closed. Yeah. They can't climb out of tubs, if I recall correctly. He seemed to climb out just fine once I was trying to get him into a cup. I think it depends on, like, the size of them. Like, daddy long legs, or what I think of as daddy long legs, they climb out easy peasy. At least out of our tub. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Part of me loves the idea of there being just like a bug hotel in my kid's room. But also, I don't think there should be a bug hotel in my kid's room. You know? So, that's the crossroads we're at right now. What we did do yesterday was take the we had just like a tiny bit of air dry clay left, and we made little coasters, and we tried to, and I don't know if it's because we've had this clay for a while or if it's just the type of clay. We tried to do this thing that we saw where you just like take like leaves and things and press them into the clay. And we were having such a hard time getting the impression of anything to go on the clay. And what I wound up doing that looked really cool, actually, was taking the clay rounds and pressing them up against the bark on some of our orchard trees. Those all turned out really sick, actually. They look super cool. So they're drying now. It's taking a long time for them to dry, which has surprised me. Yeah, oh my God. The caterpillars at like the end of summer that are all over the my mother-in-law's flowers. Clark loves picking them up, but they always just like yak all over you. I honestly can't tell if they're pooping on you or if they're barfing on you, but you pick them up and they'll just like occasionally just drop like a weird little strand of green. And you're like, I don't know what that is. But It's certainly something that I don't think I want. Yeah, I'm wondering if we just didn't need it enough. Like, I had to a decent amount in order to get it soft enough to roll out, you know? But it might have been... We were also trying to, like, do it outside, and maybe just the sun and everything was rapidly... because it's air dry clay, was rapidly, like, drying it, even with me constantly putting water on, you know? There might have just been a lot of variables that were kind of, like, working against us here. Oh, try putting it in a Ziploc and soaking in hot water first. Like, put it in the Ziploc and then put the bag in the hot water, correct? So not like soaking the clay in the water. Sorry if that's a stupid question. So the clay isn't wet. Okay, just double checking. That's what we do for clay paw prints at my veterinary job. That is so smart. We were, because the chickens were out with us, I picked up one of the chickens and we tried to put one of the chicken claws on there and it did not work at all. And this is for air dry clay. Awesome. I will try that. Thank you for the hot tip. The hot water tip. Sorry. Don't say boo. Don't boo me. I'm right. No, you're not booing me. No, stop. We watched the first episode of New Slime, was reincarnated as a slime, which honestly is like one of my favorite isekais. I think it's just so well done generally. So very excited for that. And then we watched the first episode of oh my gosh, what's it called? God's Games We Play. I think that's going to be really boring. I gotta be honest with you. We watched it and I was like, the pitch sounded great. I think it's gonna be really boring. Honestly, it tried to be very like, look at these cerebral games we're playing, but it wasn't. I don't know. The game wasn't exciting to me. The world building wasn't exciting to me. The characters are really boring. I just think it's gonna be boring, unfortunately. I wanted it to be the pitch of like, we live in a society, right, where we have to constantly play games with like these weird fae god things in order to stay alive. That's what I thought it was going to be. And I was like, that sounds horrifying potentially, right? Like, I definitely want to see that. No. Any danger level for this anime was sucked out so quickly. Like, I think it's going to be really boring. Ponark, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. I hope you're having a good day. I don't know. There's the first episode of the Spice and Wolf remake. Haven't watched that yet. Excited to watch that. We started watching... What is that undead show? Oh, Unwanted Undead Adventurer. I think that might be cool. We watched a couple episodes of that. But there's like 12 episodes of that out so far. I don't know if that's the full season, if that's done now, or if it's still going, but liked that. What was boring? It's a new show. It's because the spring season is just starting, so there's like the first episode of a bunch of anime. God's Games We Play. That ended. Okay. Cool. Oh my god, I love that. Oh, that's so great. So I can just watch 12 episodes and be done. That's so great. Yeah, God's Games We Play. It has a 4.5. I'm really surprised, actually. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bitch. I just don't think it's going to be very exciting. The things about it that would be exciting for me as a viewer aren't there. So. And yeah, I want to watch Spice and Wolf for sure. I really enjoyed Undead Adventurer. Yeah, we liked it. Like the couple episodes that we watched. I would have watched more, but I was so sleepy. I was so tired. But yeah, that's where I'm at with the anime season currently. I also finally started reading again. God bless. I found Mercy. Fuck. I hid it from myself, and I don't know why. I'm about halfway through Mercy. That book's pretty good. I think this is the author's first book, and you can kind of tell. You know, there's like two different types of writing in books from like authors early on in their writing career or whatever. I feel like sometimes you read a book and you're like, the writing in this isn't amazing. And I'm having a really hard time getting through it. Or there's the writing in this isn't amazing, but there's so much potential here and I really hope they keep writing. And that's how I'm feeling about Mercy currently. There are plenty of points where I'm like, the prose in this is really lacking, you know? But I really like the characters and the setting is interesting. The stuff that's going on is good for me. And I think this writer can, you know, as they continue to write, we'll have some really good stuff come out. I finally finished Sour Candy, which is a horror novella that I was recommended. And that was another, I don't know why. It's not that I'm trying to like read stuff that's going to make me shit myself. Okay. I'm not looking for something that's like disgusting. It's not that. It's just, if somebody's going to be like, this is a horror novella, right? Which means it's short. You have to get your point across really quickly. Okay. I need there to be something about it that's like, whoa, you know? Help Meet was that for me. When I finished reading Help Meet, I was like, God damn, I'm going to be thinking about that book for a while. And I still think about that book. And it was so short. I got through that book so quickly, but like, so much about it was interesting. The way that it was written was interesting, right? It was disgusting sometimes because of the subject matter. It had a lot of body horror in it, but it was written beautifully. And by the end of it, I was like, what the fuck did I read? Right. But like in a like, I'm so glad I read that way. So sour candy, I don't even know. I don't even know how to pitch this book. It's not that there was anything wrong with it necessarily. There were a couple of like intriguing elements about it, but the setting is basically there's just a guy. He's just a dude. Okay, he's going to the grocery store. He's got a perfectly normal life. He's got a job and a hot girlfriend and whatever. And he's at the grocery store to get some food to go home to his hot girlfriend and have a nice evening, right? And when he's at the grocery store, he sees this woman and her kid, and they're like deeply unsettling to him. This woman looks like gaunt. She like is barely registering if people are talking to her. And the kid is screaming in a way that seems like unreal, right? So this kid is just full on screaming, and the mom, who looks like sickly and out of it and whatever, is not even responding, right? And so like all of these people at the grocery store are looking at these people. The people that actually work at the store are like trying to help. They're like, what's happening, ma'am? Are you okay? Right? Like what can we do? Right? The kid stops screaming and offers the guy, our just normal guy, our dude, right? Offers him a piece of sour candy, and he's like, okay, sure, kid. Thanks for the candy. Bye. And by accepting this candy, entangles himself in whatever the fuck is going on with this mom and her kid, basically. Because no, they are not a normal mom and kid. And there were definitely elements to it that were interesting for me. But by the end, I was like, okay, I don't know what it is that I wanted out of that. I really, there was, I liked most of it, I think. I felt a little let down by the end of it, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Sour Candy is the name of it. It's a novella. I just read it on the Kindle. Yeah, so finish that. I'm about halfway through the first Nevermore book, which Forecast Gray sent me. And that's fun. That's a fun book. I'm having a lot of fun with that. Yeah. I'm still not like totally sure where the series is gonna go, but I like this first book, so I'm having fun with that. Yeah, I've been reading a lot, oddly enough. I don't know why. I go through ebbs and flows with it. It just didn't hit the mark at the end, or did it feel that way the entire way through? I think what happens with horror and suspense books is the moment at which the suspense is done, right? When you, the reader, get an answer, if you're going to get one, and you realize that much like with a slow burn romance where they finally touch pinkies, you realize that it was more fun not knowing. The weirdness of what was happening in the story and not really knowing why this weird shit was happening, that was more engaging than getting an answer. And with a novella, it's so hard to pace that shit out. So this happens a lot. I love novellas because they're short, and I again go through like periods of time where I want to read a lot and periods where I don't. So I enjoy reading novellas quite a bit because they're so short. Because they're so short. And so I've read a few of them now where I'm like, at the end, I felt like either they weren't sure how to end it, so they kind of didn't, or they were like, I gotta wrap this up now, and you get an info dump. And I don't like either, really. So it is what it is. Hi, Jaws. What was I about to look for? Yeah, it's like that with zombie movies as well. The beginning of the breakout is the best, and later it gets boring. Yeah. What I think sometimes it's, what are you trying to do with this story? And if that's not really clear, then I don't know. If you know what it is you're trying to say with your book, I think sometimes the journey to like a weirdly unsatisfying end is okay, because it wasn't about the end, right? But if you're gonna go out of your way to make everything like super mysterious and weird, and then the end is kind of like, oh, okay. Okay. You know, that's kind of how I felt. That's kind of how I felt. So cool premise, super weird book. Out of novellas that I've read recently, Helpmeet is still the best one. But big body horror warning on that one. If you like Neil Gaiman, read A Story in Emerald. And if you like Sherlock Holmes, double read it. Okay. I like Sherlock Holmes and Neil Gaiman, so you don't have to tell me more than once. That's me. I gotta read that twice? All right. I thought about that recently watching the extended Return of the King. That movie ends like 3 times. Yes. I remember watching that movie for the first time and thinking it was over multiple times. And going, oh. Where's the 3rd season of Good Omens, Neil? Whoa, we got season 2 not that long ago. The extended movies they're so long. But you like the snacks? I do. Will there be a pee break soon? Probably not. Normally I only stream a couple of hours on a Sunday, so we're probably gonna wrap up here soon. I hunger for the gay age. Have you guys seen, people have been taking pictures of Michael Sheen with a beard and then like throwing them into Photoshop or whatever to make him look like Aziraphale with a beard. It's good. They should let Aziraphale have a beard, is what I'm saying. They didn't even do the scouring of the Shire, you cowards. Marianne, I want you to know that whenever I see like discourse or conversation about Tolkien books, I think of you. I want you to know that. I worry if I ever take free to see a Marianne, I will lose them both to Tolkien. It's nice to have someone to share your interest with. You know? Sometimes you're just really into a thing and you want to talk about it a lot, and it's hard to not feel like you're talking at someone about it, you know? If anything, it might be beneficial for them both to have a friend to barf about Tolkien with. You know? Dude, yes. Yeah. I should have written my dissertation on Tolkien. It would have been done by now. But would you have burned yourself out on Tolkien? And that might have made you sad. I'd have hated him. And I don't want that for you. Protect the things you love, you know? Yarp. Yeah. And then books that I'm determined to start reading and get all the way through. Six of Crows. I have started so many times and never stuck with. I like the literal very beginning of that book, and then it turns into word salad for me. I don't know why. I need to get past the word salad of Six of Crows, and then maybe I'll enjoy it. I've read Murderbot. Murderbot's great. Got Six of Crows. We've got Nona the Ninth, which I have not tried yet. I'm scared to try to read Nona, to be honest, because it's so divisive. But I have to. I'm already this far. I got through Harrow, and for what? And for what? I have to do Nona. I love Gideon. Gideon for me, I read that so quickly. I loved that book. Harrow took me so many tries to get through. I'm just not enough of an intellectual, I guess. I had such a hard time with that book. And it was just a huge, shift for the reader to do. And some people loved that, and I was not one of them. And then Nona, everybody's like, once you read Nona, Harrow will make so much sense. And then other people are like, once you read Nona, you'll be even more confused. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I have the strength, dude. So. No, I was not about to read that book twice. It was not happening. I finally got all the way through Harrow and was like, I'm still fucking confused about everything. And so I went on forums. Where people were like, what the fuck was Harrow about? And I read those. and I read those and felt better. So the other day I learned Krendor reads about 50 times faster than me. Yeah, I think what I should do before I like really sit down to try and start Nona, is once again read those forums. Let's go one more time. What was Harrow about? Reread that. And then try Nona. So. I love this stream. I'm furiously writing down books to purchase at Barnes & Noble later. Nice, nice. Yeah, dude. It's so hard. Oh, and then audiobook wise, we're doing Color of Magic still. But I think I'm gonna go to the library and see if I can just get the book for that. I feel like it would go. Sometimes audiobooks feel like so much faster and sometimes they feel slower for whatever reason. So I need to get that. Hi, Brett. How are you, bud? We're talking about books. I'm back in a reading phase. We're talking about books. A book I bought a while ago is The 100-Year War on Palestine. Because I think I, like a lot of people, realize, like, I either have grown up with a lot of misinformation or don't actually know anything about this, really. And so I bought that. And this sounds like a shitty thing to say, but like the text size is so small in this book that it's really difficult for me to get through. And I need to just for the sake of knowledge, of learning, right, which is important, I need to just sit down and read it. But the font size is so much smaller than I'm used to that it feels so difficult to read, and I don't know why. It's so tiny. I wish I had brought it in here. It's so tiny. The text is so small. Yes, I should. I should get little reading spectacles. That's a great idea. Yeah, I need to get my glasses fixed. We got my kid an appointment to get new glasses since hers were like destroyed. And we don't know, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess I could just measure her myself, but like, I don't know if like the size of everything is different now since she got her original glasses. But I need to get my glasses fixed. And then, yeah, I really want them. I loved those. I loved having the glasses chain. "98 months of Mario." I really want an old lady glasses chain all of a sudden. They're so cool. I love them. They're such a vibe. I got like the chain that I had before was so cute, but it was like a cheap thing that I bought, and the little metal rounds that like hold everything together started to just pull apart, so the whole thing would just fall to pieces, which was really obnoxious. And I honestly don't know, aside from finding them in a store, which, you know, we live in a society now where you can go online and find like the exact sort of vibe of thing that you really want, but you can't inspect it physically ahead of time, right? I don't know what to look for or what to search for to ensure that it's not gonna fall apart. Does that make sense? I like the metal ones. Otherwise, yeah, I would just make a cord myself, you know, but my wool carders are taking forever to get here. I have all this wool that I've meticulously picked clean, washed 8 times, and it's just sitting there. And I have no way to like brush it out. I just need to brush it out, dude. What is the trusted old lady glasses chain brand, right? Please update your Goodreads. Here's the thing. With my anime list, with Goodreads, with any of those things where it's like, I'm going to consistently track what I'm doing, I will always drop it. Always. I get constant updates about Kristen. Quisden is so good about always updating her Goodreads, and it is shocking to me. I'm like jump scared by it every time. For me, seeing the numbers go up on my anime list is part of the joy of watching anime. That's fair. I'm trying. Was it Hummingbird? Hummingbird was the other one that was like a replacement for my anime list. I was on Hummingbird for a hot minute. What a woman in total control of herself. Which is so catchy. It is. I don't know why it's stuck in my head. But I was singing it to Clark earlier. And she was like, shh, mommy. Let me sing. The current thing that's going on in our house is if something's on the TV, Clark immediately is on the keyboard playing music to go along with whatever's happening on TV, which is really fun and also a nightmare. We were watching the Mario movie because she was playing the Princess Peach demo. And so Sam just put on the Mario movie while we had dinner. And the climax of the movie, we've all watched it. So it's like, whatever. I wasn't like, let me just watch the movie, right? But like the climax of the movie, Clark was on the keyboard trying to do the da-da-da-da-da-da. I think because there's a scene where Bowser does that on his piano, right? So Sam showed her where the da-da-da-da-da-da is on the keyboard. And then it was her just playing that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for the entire climax of the movie. And Sam and I were like, what is happening? And then she'd forget like one of the keys. So it'd be like da 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 a few times, and then we'd get back on track, you know. It's great. You're equal parts like, I love this. I love that my kid is like engaging in this way. And the rest of you's like, but if I hear da 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 one more time, I'll scream. I'll actually scream. What kind of overalls does Mario wear? Denim, denim, denim. Mm-mm. Yeah, we got Clark a keyboard for her birthday last year. So she's had it for about a year. When we mounted the TV, I put the keyboard under the TV because it didn't really have a home that made a whole lot of sense, and the cord is kind of short. So I was like, if I put it here, it has a place to plug in. And I didn't know it was going to turn into, and now I'm going to play music along with everything that I watch. But I don't think it's a bad result. As long as I'm not watching something for the first time. Right? as long as I'm not like, please. Please. Yeah. We just love doing little projects and stuff together. We were talking about, I can't remember what the word was. She was saying like that there was a word. It was a word that had to do with like felting or something. There was a word that she knew that no one else in her class knew. And she was like, isn't that weird that I've known that word for so long? And I was like, well, no. Because every kid in your class is growing up with a different set of circumstances, different parents, a different home, different hobbies, right? I was like, there are kids in your class that probably know words that have to do with fishing, with machinery, with, there's probably every kid in your class has a few words that they know that you've never had any reason to know. But you know these words because we do these activities, or because, because Daddy and I do those things, or because you've shown interest in those things. And that never stops being the case, if we're being totally real, right? Like, as an adult now, it just gets to be more and more that way. The older that you are, the more lived experience people have. There are things that I know about based on the life that I've had that Sam doesn't know about, and it's just never come up in conversation, and we've never talked about it. But there's stuff that I know about, or think about, or have read about that Sam never has and may never do, right? Like, so it wound up circling around to A, and that's why there's always something that you can learn from another person, even if they're your same age. It's always good to have conversations with people and find out what they're interested in and see if there's something that you can learn from them. I was the only person in my department that knew what the word exothermic was. I'm something of a scientist. Yes. Pushes up glasses. Indeed. There's a part of you that likes that, right? Saying something and having the other person go, I don't know what that is. But it also requires the other person, and it's good for us to be this person as well. It also requires the other person to not be embarrassed to say, I don't know what that is actually. And give the person in the conversation an opportunity to teach you something. I think that's fun. That's cool. That's a cool experience to have. But then I have to explain it to them. That's true. But, maybe the more opportunities you have to do that, the easier it'll be to articulate it. I don't know. I think it's about to force an ad on us in like 20 seconds here. So I didn't wrap up stream fast enough, is what I'm saying. I didn't wrap up quick enough. I pushed these ads back thrice, and now it won't let me do it again. So, oopsies. Whoa. Huh? Oh my God. What? No. I'm so confused. I closed this game, though. If the exit games thing is up. I closed this, though. Wait, why is it here? Bro, what indeed? That's what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. What is happening? It literally won't let me close it. Hold on. Task manager? Is this the only way I can get this game to close? End task. We did it. Oh my goodness. It is what it is. Did you though? I definitely tried to. And in all fairness, when I opened the game, it said not responsive, which says to me that I tried to close it and it did like a weird crash while trying to close. And then I right-clicked it and said exit game, and it didn't do anything. So I'm going to say that this isn't my fault, actually. Maybe I would have caught it quicker if I had come back to this computer, but I didn't. So it's just been sitting there for days. What do you mean ad break ends in 1 minute and 30 seconds? The ad break was only supposed to be 1 minute. Rude. How do you keep track of the books you've read? I don't get through them very quickly. So if they're out and about in my house, I'm probably reading them or have read them or have thought about reading them. So currently in our living room is the 100-Year War on Palestine, Nevermore. They're stacked together. Nevermore, my Kindle. Nona is nowhere to be found because I keep pretending it doesn't exist. I know exactly where it is, but I'm pretending. I'm pretending I don't know where it is. Yeah, there's just a little stack of books. So playing Cocoon. I love that game. Hold on, let me double check. It's not that I think you would be lying to me, but it has happened before. Or we've gone to raid somebody and they actually weren't live. So just gonna double check. Yeah, okay. Ow. Okie dokie. Let's read our activity feed and then I will send you over to Jackie Rose. Yeah, or sometimes what happens to me is I will look at my following list and it doesn't update automatically. So if my following list is still open from like the day before, it won't be accurate about who's actually live. And sometimes we'll be like, oh, so-and-so is live playing this. But if I refreshed the page, that wouldn't be true, you know? Alrighty. Tommy Poo, thank you for the 2 years. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary. I hope you're having a great day. Mighty Deacon, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Magic Maddie for the 78. Winter Who for the 21. Erwinga for the 41. Aegis Lask, thank you so much for the 6 months. Thank you, thank you. Pigeon Studios, thank you for the 5. Cordry for the 115. Pets Play for the 73. Alex Ratman for the 86. Firestorm for the 49. Red Lips Blue Veins for the 39. Wild Blast for the 15. Amarian for the gifted sub, thank you so much. Rosa for the 92. Nordic Heraldry, thank you again for the raid. I appreciate it. Torgrick for the 89. Tedoism for the 3. Court and Justice for the 33. Meld Iron Can for the 73. Ponarch, thank you again for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Irish Geezer for the 91. Bit Scruffy for the 2. Brett for the 46. Amariel for the 98. Synergist for the 16. Miroth for the 89. Iozai for the 2. Slime for the 88 and Dorlugas for the 78. Thank you guys so much. We should have we should be streaming every day this next week. Like normal, if you will. I believe we're gonna try and stream tomorrow night as well as Tuesday night. So there are gonna be a couple extra streams in here as well. But it'll still be the later start time. My kid is still on break, so. What is happening? So 1 p.m. BST. We have had daylight savings now, yeah. So 1 p.m. BST should be the start time. I'll use Discord, the Discord universal time command thing to post it in our Discord. I'll do that right after stream, actually. Okay, fantastic. Would you raid? Thank you. Fantastic. I'll see you guys around. Bye. No Sunforge tonight. Joe is doing a recap episode. So if you are interested in hearing a recap of what's going on in Sunforge so that you can pick up from where we are, tonight would be a great night to tune in to Joe's stream. But no, we're not doing an actual session.
Yeah, bye.